BTC and 32E.
Welcome back, hard forkers, to 1 BTC and 32 Ethereum with my co-hosts Johnny Gonzo and Stefano. Welcome, boys. How are you?
Good. Going to the moon.
Well, I hope so. So listen, in today's show, we're going to look at the projects we've previously reviewed, be doing that in a moment. And then we're going to have a look at the NFT and gaming space in a bit of detail today. You've got, really do have an expert panel here. Mr. Gonzo, actually on that note, I see you're really becoming somewhat of a well-known figure in the art NFT space in this world. You've won another commission today, I see. Congratulations.
Pretty stoked about that one. Zoot. Yep. Zero utility token. But what they're doing is really cool. They're incorporating real-world assets into NFTs. You know, we've had this discussion once or twice about, you know, like, is it going to be cooler just to have the digital asset, or is it going to be cooler to have the digital asset and a real world thing tied to it? Yep. So they're doing jewelry, actual physical coins. They're collaborating with block dealers to come up with that physical NFT that we're going to be giving away on Friday, everybody. So make sure you tune in for the live show on Friday. Subscribe. Link
below for that, people. We're going to be having a look at, we'll touch on block jewelers today. I mean, man, the price appreciation and that's just been amazing. Look, I got to thank you guys. It was both of you two that have for a very long time now put these non-fungible tokens on my radar, and for anyone that's been following this channel. It's just a sector that's growing massively in the show. If you have no idea what a non-fungible token is, we'll also touch on that for you. But effectively, what is it, guys? It's property rights in a digital world. I mean, you could also consider a website domain, an NFT. Some interesting facts here before we get into the crux of today's show. I've really been looking at this after Stefano mentioned the REVV token last week. I've gone and got some. I'm really, I found a game that I really like. I mean, this makes sense to me. I'll go through why I like it in a moment. But a couple of facts here: $150 billion gaming industry, $100 billion spent on virtual goods last year. Huge, more than movies and music. I mean, that's just massive. And this is the one that really amazed me, guys. I mean, you two were flat out gamers. It's 2.7 billion other people like you out there on this planet. I couldn't believe that statistic when I heard it. Obviously with the new generation coming through now, that these figures are just increasing. So look, if you don't know about NFTs, this is a good show for you. I'm going to be looking at what we're all doing in the space, what we like. But first, guys, meme of the week. Very good, very good. Now let's before we get into the NFT gaming world and what we like, why we're in it, let's have a look at previously reviewed projects, guys, which will be a very good segue into that topic.
Well, the meme was a bit of a segue there,
because many of the things we have looked at are in that space. So, Jordan, I'll let you whip through these if you like. Do you want to talk us through it?
Sure. Our lads at AGA Token, Thomas, it just hit $6 today, which is mind-blowing. So they have a meme competition. So I did that little meme we saw today, meme of the week, and I figured it was doing quite well. So I figured I'd try and win some more AGA tokens. There was, Axie the Land is still going up. Block Dealers is going on a crazy run. They're getting ready to release their platform. Bonk, it's doing really well. I think everybody's kind of anticipating Mega Bonk coming out soon. So it's slowly getting accumulated. It's sitting above like 80 cents now, which is crazy. DMM, we won't mention that. Ethanol, I'm not really sure what's going on there, Stefano. You might have to fill us in because it's taking a shit.
Not much is happening. Everybody's selling. So.
Yeah, why? What's wrong?
Well, like all the layer 2s and like it's a classic path. My webcam is always like doing what he wants at this point. But no, it's a normal path. Like it's a weird one, but nothing is really happening. The project is still having bugs. The team is still like fixing them, and obviously the community is getting tired and pissed, which makes sense. It's the classic rule for building a product. You're not fast enough, people punish you.
Okay, moving through this list pretty quickly here, guys. We've got a lot to get through. Hex has been another big mover. I see Richard Hart popping up fairly regularly again, promoting it.
Hey, did you see he's getting into the NFT game as well?
Yes, I did.
By him.
Yeah,
I
think everyone is, Jordan. That's what today's show is all about. So let's whip through these and let's get into the NFT stuff. Mantra DAO had a massive move this week. Bit of a pullback in the last 24 hours. Motified, Jordan, you mentioned to me they've got some staking coming up. Is that correct?
Yes, sir, they do. It's not confirmed the date or anything, but I might have seen a thing or two, and it looks pretty impressive. It's very similar to what they're doing with CyberFi, where you just have a bunch of pools and it's a bit automated for you. So it helps. It just seems like it's going to be, everything's progressing so fast. You just don't have like your stake and then leave it, and your LP and you leave it.
Cool.
Introduce more AI.
Let's get through the rest of these quickly, guys, so we can get into these other projects we want to look at. Cartier Chain, wow, what a move in the last week. We looked at that on the trading show on Monday. They've had a lot of big news there, a huge amount of users coming on to that blockchain based out of Vietnam. Interview with the founder on this channel as well, so please do check that out.
Do we stake those tokens, or what are we doing with those?
Sorry?
Are we going to stake those, Kai, or what are we doing with those?
Let's have a chat about that after the show and figure it out. But yeah, that's pretty happy with how that one's playing. And obviously we've got our Vesserat. Don't be confused on the zeros next to this, people. These are the NFTs, so it's just difficult for us to put a value on how that's moving. But we do love Vesser, and we will have him back on the show shortly.
That kind of highlights one of the standard problems with NFTs, though, right? The illiquidity of most of them, right? I kind of want to wear my Tommy Two-Face hat today. There's
Tommy Two-Face hat. Okay.
Yeah, there is crazy potential with NFTs going on.
Yep.
But man, there is a lot of issues that I can see coming up that we have to kind of be conscious of and discuss so that people don't get trapped.
On that note, I just want to mention another project that I've had a look at that I kind of like here, actually. One of our other team members, Jesse's been a big fan of this for a long time, keeps on talking to me about it. DSLA. They've got a main net launching in a couple of weeks, new exchange listing any day now. We're going to be having a closer look at that, but check it out in the interim. If you've got any questions, you can put them below this video or get into the Discord, and we'll attempt to answer those. But good time to be looking at that. The reason I also bring it up is we do have these issues of these rug pulls in the DeFi space and permanent loss around NFTs. So DSLA is effectively these service level contracts that it's really looking to get in there and address those two issues. So I just wanted to quickly put that on your radars today, people. I know the guys probably haven't looked at that, so we won't spend too long on it today. But DSLA, check it out. We'll be having a closer look in the coming days.
Are we going to get them on the show?
Endeavoring to. As I say, they've got a mainnet launch in 2 weeks. They've said they'll come on after that. But really just wanted to flag it for people now. Have a look at it. Give us your questions on it. We'll have Jesse on to talk about that in the next couple of days as well. He's one of their bigger fans. And I've got to tell you, after looking at it, I like what it does. Absolutely. So check that out, people. We'll do a deeper dive into that in the coming days. But today I want to get back to what is happening in this NFT space. Wow. I mean, it's just pumping, guys. The more I look at it, the more I look at the overall sort of macro numbers on this, it's just blowing me away. I'm getting more and more convinced about this. I know both of you guys have been for a very long time. Obviously, Axie was my sort of first foray into that. I fell in love with the F1 Delta game. Been looking at that. I bought a bunch of REVV tokens last week. Doubled in price on me. Bit of a pullback at the moment. Really trying to figure out the tokenomics there. Should I be buying these in-game assets, staking them, earning the REVV token that way, or just staking the REVV token? So there's a lot to digest on that game. But first, I want to throw it over to you guys. You are our resident experts in this area. So maybe, Stefano, if you've woken up now, if you could talk us through what you see happening in this NFT space, the gaming space, the art space. What do you like? What's going on? What's getting you excited?
I think that people are getting ready to lose an insane amount of money. That's what I believe. I believe that it's 2017 all again. Like it's insane at this point that the pattern is becoming exactly the same, which is listing on exchange, 10x.
Partnership with McDonald's.
Exactly. The announcement of the announcement, the new things, the team is solid. Like, you know, there is like the bingo, bingo NFT bingo. Or that's a thing. Like it's a meme at this point. I think that the majority of the people don't even realize how much money they're losing. Having the idea that in reality they are making a good investment and so on. Take this as an example. When I mentioned this like last week, when Avegotchi came out, the pre-sale, I flipped a portal. I bought a portal for 100 Ghost and I flipped that 10 minutes after for 2,000. Someone bought that from me, you know, someone bought that thinking, oh man, this is going to go to the moon now.
I'm going to 20x.
Exactly. I mean, if you're looking at the value of that, now a portal goes for pretty much like 800, 900 Ghost. So potentially I could still sell others and still be at an 8 or 9x return. And I made my 20x on that 10 minutes, but the person that bought is already down 50%, 60% from that purchase thing. What does this mean? It means that person now is going to like being obliged of all that thing for so long, but for so long that you have no idea how long it's going to take. Now, people
okay, well, you got me very worried here, Stefano, because we're big fans of Axie. We've seen the price appreciation and that.
Of course, but the point is that like nobody's talking about like, did you try to sell an NFT?
Exactly.
Did you try to exit a position when you wish to exit? Because that's what nobody's saying.
Yep.
And so my only thing is, as per usual, try and have a look at that. And then you start getting into the narrative. Once you actually do this and you really realize how complicated it is to sell something, you either are very, very good and you're capable of doing that like this, and you really flip in a matter of seconds and minutes. So you do that for NBA drop shot. A pack comes out, you flip that immediately. A pre-sale over there. Alice was of your neighbor's Alice was another good moment of like flipping over there, obviously. The sandbox, I flipped a tons of land on the sandbox, but it took me 4 or 5 months to do that. You know, it's not so straightforward. Axie, that we're talking about like how the land is going crazy and so on, et cetera, et cetera. The land that I bought, like my first land, I bought that a year ago. You're sitting on a bag for 1 year. 1 year ago, Ethereum did a 10x since there. You know, we need to put things in perspective a little bit. When you're buying into something, it doesn't mean that because there is FOMO on NFT that automatically the value is going to like 10x by the morning because there is FOMO, because everybody's talking about that and so on. There is 90%, even 95% of the material that people are buying right now that are going to end up losing an insane amount of money.
Okay, so that's the purpose of the show. What do you like in the space? You've given us one hell of a warning there and a wake-up call. But, you know, if we sort of pull back a wee bit here and look at a macro picture of the amount of money being spent in gaming globally, I just rattled those fingers off. 150 billion gaming.
Sure, but it's the same thing.
Hang on, 100 billion spent in virtual goods. And these are games where you're not getting anything for that. Whereas with these NFTs, you actually own that asset. I've looked at that F1 Delta time. I like it. I get it. That game speaks to me. It is actually a game I would play. So for somebody sort of entering that space now, I mean, let's take that one for example.
Sean, I
see huge growth in that. I mean, am I hearing from you that you think I'm an idiot and I shouldn't be buying this token? Or
you're talking about two different things, though. You're talking about NFTs with use case and community.
Correct.
Yeah. But the FOMO and the crazy shit that's happening right now that Stefano was talking about, it's exactly like the ICO bubble. You're getting a white paper, you're getting some shitty fucking 8-bit graphics that took an artist an hour to do. They're fucking pumping them out. The whales are buying them to pump up the price and launder their money. And then they're marketing the fuck out of it, and then they're dumping the guys that know.
So, Mr. Gonzo, what do you like in the NFT space? Where are you investing? Where trading? What are you doing in it? What do you think's rubbish? What do you think's good?
The same as crypto and the same as DeFi. Use case, use case, use case. If there's no use case, don't even bother. Like, I'm an artist.
So let's talk use cases. I mean, what do you like? I know you love Axie. I like this F1 Delta Time, the REVV token. Are these good projects in your opinion? Are they going to?
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously they've got a community, they've got working products, they've got games, they've got staking models. They didn't just show up yesterday or 2 weeks ago, right? So, I mean, all those boxes tick. I'm not into Rev, but I know you are, and Stefano is, and I think it's a good project. It's like, but Mana, Rary, things that have stuff built and they're not like just coming up out of nowhere. All these things that, they've actually been around before the DeFi hype or the NFT hype. And, they've spent time. Mintable is another one. Like, they're improving the NFT marketplace. This one, Zoot, that we just mentioned earlier, they're building physical products. They have an infrastructure, they have manufacturing, they have a community. It's not like, it's just so easy to scam on the NFT stuff that's going on right now. Like, literally. You're seeing like Fiverr artists like, oh, I'll create your NFT for you for $5. And then people are commissioning Fiverr artists, total crap art, minting it, putting a token around it. It's like, I agree with Stefan. It's totally, I am totally huge fan of NFTs, but it's like, this much crap and this much good.
So Stefano, what's good in the NFT space for you?
So one thing to like go back and finish in that point, you mentioned like all these stats about gaming and so on. Even if you're taking that as an example in the gaming industry, how many games there are outside, and actually what are the games that are really taking majority of that cake? You got Fortnite that gets majority of the cakes from that on the money. You got World of Warcraft. You got like Call of Duty. You got like this enormous AAA title. But then you got like an entire enormous tsunami of people that like develop games that nobody even knows about. Here is exactly the same thing. It doesn't matter that because like the esports industry is growing, that automatically everything is going to be cool. But if you're actually like putting the time and the effort and trying out, then you can actually find things. So what I like in the space right now, if I'm looking at that, is like the classics. So the big ones, obviously, which are Engine. And I've been mentioning these for so long. Engine has been absolutely amazing. All the games that are running on Engine are absolutely amazing. Lost Relic. To give you an idea, Lost Relic, it's a game developed by one single guy, average around 700 online players every single second. So that's the value over there. They're probably averaging more people than the entire Decentraland, the user in Decentraland connected. And it's one game developed by one guy on the Engine platform. So I obviously love the Engine platforms and what they're doing. I like Mana, yes. And I mentioned that in my opinion, it's getting to a point where like now it's crazy hype, FOMO, ICO things, but I love the project. It's super high now, but like, it might actually like keep running and so on. That it's pure speculation at this point, but it is a project that I like. The Sandbox is a project that I love. I can't wait for that to like release season 0 and finally like start playing on something like that. All the games that you're seeing like Axie, yes, absolutely. We spoke about that for a long time. F1 Delta Time, I've been playing that. I'm terrible at that, but I actually like that. Z Run, that is the one like it's basically F1 Delta Time, but like with the racing horse. I've been playing that for months and months at this point. We spoke about that. I love that game. I'm terrible at that as well, but I actually really like it. Because there is also that.
Can I just stop you on the race, the horse racing one, and obviously F1 Delta Time, something I've been having a close look at. For somebody who wants to come, I mean, look, I've got hooked from, I looked at the macro environment. It made sense to me to buy some of that token. Thing nearly did 100%. It's had a bit of a pullback in the last 24 hours. That's in a week. I like it. I mean, I'm looking at the macro picture here, and I'll be the first to admit I'm still trying to figure out the tokenomics of this. What's my best move here? Buying a car, staking it, just staking the token, etc. Could you talk to someone who's really just sort of entering on the, Axie, F1 Delta Time, the horse racing game you mentioned? Sorry, what was the name of that again?
Zed.
Just give us that sort of idiot's guide to assessing these projects and the tokenomics and figuring out, how to approach.
The idiot's guide is that you need to be in the ecosystem. You need to play these things to understand, one, if you like them, and two, if actually you understand that. Why am I not good in Zed, and therefore I'm not good in F1 Delta Time neither? Because they're very, very similar game, and I'm just terrible at those games. I'm not good at those type of games. I like them, but dude, I'm very, very bad. On 25 people, I would end up in position 22 or 23. So
I'm talking more about sort of that bigger picture.
But no, yeah. But that's my point. To give you an idea. So when I started playing Lost Relic, my initial investment on Lost Relic was $80, 80. My account after less than 3 months now on Lost Relic is worth $8,000 by playing the game. So here's we're talking about two completely different style of investing. Your approach and the noob guy that you're asking is basically I buy this token, I do things with this token, like the REVV token. Do I stake it? Do I flip it? Do I hold it and it increase in value and this and that and so on? Is that a good approach? In my personal opinion, no, it's not. However, my personal opinion is actually wrong if we consider the data. Because if we're looking at the return of these tokens and the runs that they have done in the past 6 months, buying all these type of tokens is actually a very good strategy. Look at Mana, look at Send, look at the ENJ, look at the runs and the 30x return that they have done.
Rari.
It's absolutely crazy. Rari as well. It's not a bad strategy, but I don't think that that's the best possible strategy.
I think that's a good entry level, for people, it's they want to get involved and they're not sure what to do yet. Buy bits and pieces of projects that are good and do your research. Spend a week researching each project. Spend a couple days, and then you can DCA and build those bags up or start getting involved in those communities or, start using the tokens. But if you really, you gotta get in there. You got the FOMO for the NFTs. Just pick a couple projects and start DCAing slowly. No, and
that's the thing. The beauty of a lot of these projects is that you can actually accumulate a lot by putting time instead of money, which is something very crazy. If you're thinking about accumulating a bag of Bitcoin or Ethereum and so on, it's not as straightforward. Here, we're actually being in a very, very good position. Take Axie. You don't have the money to accumulate a nice bag, but time can actually allow you to do that. You jump into a scholarship, you start playing the game, you make SLP. Once you have SLP, you can decide if you want to keep that, turn that into AXS, or simply cashing out and buy into something else.
Or buy
time your own in play to earn, in all of this NFT space and so on, there are a lot of projects with time becomes a commodity. It's a real commodity that you can use. So my advantage would actually be smart. Instead of spending time in front of Netflix, in front of the TV, in front of all of that, take some of those hours, use that as a commodity, build some tiny little positions in all of these different things, learn, see what you like, see what makes you happy, and then you start digging naturally into that. Because if you're starting playing a game and you like the game, you try to learn more from that, obviously, because you like it, because you're enjoying that. And then automatically by doing that, you're increasing your bags as well, because you buy more, you get more projects, you sell an item for a better one, blah, blah, blah. And you start doing all of that and you get better NFTs all the time.
Stefano, it's a great point. In last week's show, I sort of posed that question. Do you think it's better to be investing in things that you either really know very well or that you simply just like? And, a lot of the stuff that happened in the NFT space probably just, wasn't that appealing to me. That whole sort of concept of a screen grab being worth huge amounts of money. Maybe I bought into that narrative. But the more I've looked at it, and
Okay, boomer.
probably for me, that F1 Delta time is the first time, for me, I'm not a gamer. But when I was playing games, they were always these sort of racing games or sports games. So when I've looked at this thing, and I have gone on there and played it in the last few days, and really it's sort of made me think, okay, I really get this. I want to play this game, and I can see how other people would attach value to owning those in-game assets. I mean, you can own everything in this game, same as Axie, from land to the cars to all the things that go on the cars. Everything's ownable. Also, coming out macro here, these guys have got a partnership with F1. They actually have IP there. They've got a license. That's amazing. So. Not only do I see the big macro picture, what's happening in NFTs, but I like this game. So I agree with you. That's sort of the first time that's happened to me in the space.
One thing on that, like to kind of like, again, make things in perspective and let people understand on like how much deep you can go and how many like different angles you can have. Take exactly like F1 Delta time. Now you have the REVV token. And so that's a classic tokens. You can trade the token. You can stake the token, the classic DeFi things. They have a lot of events where, like, if you stake in a specific pool, you can receive prizes and so on. They just finished one with the sandbox, for example. So that's another angle that you can have. Then you get the crates, the chests, the one that have like the parts of the cars and all of that things. You could actually use the REVV to buy those. Those are NFTs, and you can flip them, for example. You can own pieces of the track. So you can use your focus on like figuring out and doing research on like which one is the track that is giving the best return and so on. You're doing analysis just for that, and you might actually hold pieces of the track that gives you passive income, because obviously you get a percentage of the REVV token that are used to have the car racing on the track, or you're flipping that, which is a completely different strategy that you can do inside the game. Or you open the crates and you create better cars all the time. And so then you're like flipping the parts of the cars. You're like looking for that rare item, which is another mechanic that you can have. Or the one that I'm doing, you build your car and you actually go and race and try to be in the top 10. And if you're getting into top 10, you win REVV token. Like in a single game, you got so many different mechanics. And the thing is that like the beauty of that is that you're not obliged to do all of them. You can just pick one thing that you're very passionate about and just do that. And that's it.
Yeah, I really like the company behind this game. It's called Amoka Brands. They were a backer of Axie, which we cover extensively on the show. They've been in mobile gaming for years. They've got 15 million users there. So for me, when people from outside of blockchain come across a game like this and they see, geez, I really like playing this, and wow, I can own these in-game assets, as you say, really understand that ecosystem, this play to earn or universal basic income, if you've referred to it as in the past. I just think the opportunity here is huge, absolutely huge. And okay, we might have confused people starting off, whether you say it's over, these NFTs are overvalued, it's bubble, people are going to lose their money. But for something like Axie, F1 Delta time, where do you think we are in that evolution of play to earn? How big could this get on those two projects specifically, maybe?
Those two projects is like you're asking me to literally have like the future ball and guessing that like something that is impossible. But what I can tell you is that I do believe that in the future, if games are not gonna have like play to earn mechanics, or at least like the simple fact that NFTs are going to be like, or the items are going to be owned by the users, games are going to be like completely left out from the industry. It's going to take quite some time, because you're really being in a fight where like, you got brands like Call of Duty, like Fortnite, that are like enormous, or like PUBG. They're super, super huge. And then you get like the little games like Light Night, which, by the way, it's an awesome game. That's a very, very cool one. And you win Satoshis on those. So if you want to accumulate Bitcoin, there is also a game to do that. But apart from that, you get like these little tiny games that has like 50 people playing that versus like one that has like 1 billion. How long is it going to take for like that billion-dollar game to feel the pressure and be like, I need to change, otherwise I'm gonna lose the race. It's a very, very long fight. Let's be
I
honest
agree.
on this.
And Mr. Gonzo, I'm going to hand it over to you in a minute, because I know this is a space you definitely know a hell of a lot more than me on, and I want you to tell the audience about what's happening on Friday as well. But yeah, look, this one's really sparked my interest. I just like it. I like the fact they've partnered with F1. I mean, they have IP in that space, and it's that gaming world, it's just so huge. And I think that influx of people coming across that aren't in blockchain. The problem we have at the moment with something like F1 Delta Time is obviously the ETH gas fees. They're moving on to Matic at the moment, but you've got to be that fairly technical just to wrap your head around all of that, moving your assets onto the Polygon chain. Although what I will say about the F1 Delta Time guys, they are actually, I believe, reimbursing the gas fees at the moment if you are doing that. And often, as I've seen you guys you often get these sort of airdrops or rewards if you're in there in these somewhat difficult stages of the evolution, getting in there, using it, trying it out. It amazes me how many free tokens you guys seem to get from doing that type of thing. So maybe there's another great opportunity there with that particular game. But yes, I mean, the barrier to entry at the moment is difficult, but I just see that getting so much easier in the coming months and years. Would you agree with that? How difficult is it right now? Is this just for a niche audience, or do you?
No, well, right now is 100% for a niche. It is for a niche, not because of the difficulty, but because for the cost involved. And we're seeing that even with Axie. Why are the scholarship programs being so popular? Because buying a team on Axie, setting up a team like with all the gas fees plus the cost of the Axie right now, it costs you $700 or $800. Imagine going
you get a shit team for that price.
You get a shitty team. That's true as well. Like imagine going to GameStop, buying a game for like an Xbox or a Nintendo Switch, and the price is like $800. Would you buy that game? No. Obviously. So we are in a position where like it's a very tough one. F1 Delta Time is the same thing. Like if you want to have like a very, very shitty car, like mine, you're still spending like $300, $400, $500. Zed Run, which is the one on the horse, you're getting like a generation from 1 to 10, which is basically like what you need to actually start winning some games and so on. You're easily looking at like at a couple of thousands of dollars. Like, this is nowhere near a point where it's like ready for mass adoption. The UX is not good. It's not easy. We're super, super, super early. But, are these things going to go to a point of literally becoming mainstream? I do believe yes. And the reason why I believe that is because when you see actually what comes in return of that, what you actually can earn out of those things, man, we're looking at like a future where people that like are not able to find a 9-to-5 job can literally sit down, play a game, and really make a living out of that.
So on that note, from what you've just said there, just for straight up investment play and buying tokens in the games that we've talked about today, is this a good time, in your opinion, to be accumulating those just as an investor? From a macro point of view?
No, that's a completely different thing, because you're not buying an index fund in the gaming industry. You're buying into a project. Do I think that we're at the peak in some of the games? Yes, and I also say that. I do believe that some of the projects right now are in a massive, massive overvaluation compared to like where they should be. Do I like them? Yes. Do I use them? Yes. Would I buy into them now? No. Does that mean that I'm saying that to everybody? No, because there are projects that I think can actually grow even more. So this is a completely different questions. Well, I'm still like being mocked even by Geo, because like I say that AXS, in my opinion, I'm waiting for that. I look at what happened at that. I completely missed that train. So what I think is gonna like still go up is like, I got it right on Engine. Do I think that Engine can still have legs? I do think so, because layer 2 is not open yet. It's going to be open like in end of this month. So that is going to be like a leg that I'm interested to see if it's pushed more or not. Do I think that Rev has more legs to go? Well, right now we're seeing like F1 as being like the game that is pushed. But for example, they also have like an official license for the MotoGP.
Correct.
You know, and they're developing that game. That's an entire new subject that is going to be there. Do I think that they have leg? Potentially they do. Do I think that AXS does still, and XC does still have legs? Well, they still have to open up for so many things. So yes, I do believe that they might have more legs, but we are in a moment in the market where it's becoming very difficult, at least for me, to understand if we're getting to a point where like everything is overpriced, and so we're going to go back to normal because tons of things are overpriced. Let's be honest on that. But it doesn't matter. No, it doesn't, because we're in a bull run. So even if I'm saying like that something is overpriced, we're still being in a position where we can still this thing being like a 10x, going at 10x.
Yep.
I don't know, to be honest. This market right now is so crazy that it's a tough one. It's a very, very tough one.
Okay. Just lastly, if you are interested in Rev, CoinGecko are doing an NFT giveaway in combination with them. So get over there.
Those guys coming on the show?
Sorry?
Are those guys coming on the show?
I haven't actually reached out to them. I will do that though. I mean, I've just been researching and I really like it. I bought some of the Rev token. I'm playing the game and getting set up there. So watch the space for more on that from me. But Jordan, let me hand it over to you now. Give us your thoughts on NFTs, gaming, what you like, what people should be aware of.
One of the things you guys are talking about was mass adoption, right? And, you know, it's like that question of when the major AAA games, all these big gamers move to blockchain games. I think it's going to happen different. I think what's going to happen, and what's going to happen is you're going to get economic inequality is going to drive mass adoption, not gamers like shifting from blockchain to traditional, or from traditional to blockchain. Like just doing the scholarships has really opened my eyes. Holy shit.
Tell us a bit about that, because you got some great stories there.
Because like, you know, I've got middle-aged couples in the Philippines, you know, they got kids going to school. The father lost his work. The mom's a stay-at-home mom. She started playing and she's like, oh, you know, like this is great. I can, you know, feed my kids, put them through school. The dad loses his job, so he's on Axie. So you got, you know, middle-aged families that normally wouldn't do gaming, but they're doing it as a job, right? You got the Philippines, you got Venezuela, you got Brazil, you got Algeria. Like you got all these countries where these people that are totally, you know, not well off financially. And these people are flooding into these games, play to earn. They're flooding in to earn, not to play. You know, they're playing because they can earn. They're not playing, you know, and then earning is a bonus. Like it's necessity for them. And I think necessity is really going to drive it more than like just, you know, the gamer geeks that are like, oh, I'm going to start making some crypto. It's coming from these countries that are really in need of like a viable alternative for the people to make money. So I mean, that's where I'm super bullish, you know, and that's why it's like use case. So and then you have the other end. Hold on. The other end of the spectrum is you've got the NFT art bubble that's happening right now, which is a fucking complete bubble. And I don't care what anybody says. I'm an artist. I love art. I think art is undervalued. But what's happening right now in the NFT art, crypto art, is a complete fucking bubble. There's going to be so many bloody tears coming up. Like people buying these fucking 16 pixel fucking cats and dogs and moons and fucking masks. And it's like, it's all hype and whales manipulating the market. It's totally like, you can't manipulate these games that have the use case so much, right? Because if people are playing it and adding value to the economy, then that's how you can't fake that. You know, there's users, there's on-chain data. With these marketplaces are set up by like questionable sources. You got these guys coming in, driving up the floor price and then tweeting about it. Everybody's, oh, FOMO. And then 2 weeks later, you don't hear anything about that project. And then there's all these guys bag holding these NFTs. And it's like, well, what the fuck are you going to do with them? Oh, it's worth so much. Look at my portfolio is worth 20K, except for the fact that you're never going to be able to sell anything for 20K.
Yeah.
You know? So there's really like a dichotomy happening right now, like on the two ends of the spectrum. So, you know, you just really, 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 really got to be careful. And then like on the other end too, like I've got my friends from animation that have started coming into me now. It's like, dude, how do I get some NFTs? What's happening? How do I get into NFTs? You know? And this is like animation directors, Oscar nominated guys, like people that are like top tier animation, art world, and they're like, how do we get in? What do we do? So now, it's not just mom and dad looking for a savings account. It's like art people looking to capitalize on the NFT thing.
So what I'm hearing from you, it's, when you hear that phrase NFT, you've really got to get to that point where you're understanding all the different sort of subsets of that. It's a very generic term for so many things, I guess, that are going on in the space. So sort of in short, what would you specifically recommend? What projects are you looking at? And what would you say just stay the hell away from at the moment? Start with the good stuff. What do you really like and think has got a huge future?
So I don't know. I can't recommend anything that I'm not using really right now because there's so much stuff happening, and I've been quite busy making NFTs, so I haven't had a chance to research all the new stuff that's coming out. And you have to stay on top of it daily. We talked about this before as well. Like in 2018, when you get in, you do 3-4 months of research. You're like, yeah, I'm on top of it all. 4 months later, you're like, whoa, fuck, so much happened. I'm lost. And it's happening with NFTs right now too. So, I haven't really done any deep digs into a lot of stuff in the last couple of months, just being so busy. So, I got my Decentraland land parcels that I still have that I keep appreciating. I've got my Axie farm that, it's kind of stalled out because the gas is so insane, but the scholarship program is growing. The Rary stuff I use constantly, so I like that. Bonk is a bit of a dark horse, but the Mega Bonk coming, I still like the way it's built. The community, I know what's behind it. Stuff that I'm involved with, I can't really, recommend anything that I'm not actually using or involved with right now. And the block dealers, because of I know the team very well. I see what's happening. The MVP is coming, and it's a use for all of these art NFTs. People are like, oh, what do I do with it? Now put it in the machine, gamble. Everybody doing the NFT art is gambling. They're gambling.
Probably a good way to finish off today's show, Jordan. Tell the audience what we've got coming up on Friday and why they should join us for the live show.
We have this sweet physical NFT. So it's a really high quality print, and embedded in the card is an RFID chip. And then that's got the plexiglass case to it. And though those are limited, I think we're doing 50. And then, so they will have the NFT token will be connected to the actual physical product with the blockchain. So it's, connecting digital asset to the real world asset. And we've got Garrett, he's going to come on the show and talk to us about what's happening on Block Duelers. And we're going to give one away to one lucky viewer and subscriber. So make sure you're
there for that, people. The guys have really cleaned up our Discord in the last few days as well. It's great to see so many people in there. Thank you to you guys for interacting with so many of them. I sort of feel like today's show might have sparked more questions than answers for a lot of the audience, including myself. Stefano's slightly worried me about the amount of REV token I've currently got, but I like the bigger picture on that.
Oh, that's fair.
Nobody's got all the answers, man.
That's
constantly evolving.
If I can say one thing on Friday, because Friday is a massive day on so many things, on so many layers. We always say that on trying to be on top of the news and what is happening, being early and so on. There are 3 things that are going to happen on Friday. And number 1, Light Night is organizing a tournament. And the winner is going to get 100,000 Satoshis. Do the conversion. I'm not sure on how much money is going to be, but if you're good in FPS, in shooting games and stuff like that, that's the one for you. Number 2, Ether cards are going to do their public sales on Friday. Ether cards are basically NFTs with their art. So every single NFTs are pieces of art, but every single card has some gamification aspects in that they carry some specific abilities and stuff like that. So for example, one of the card, it's going to have a Beeple inside, an official Beeple inside. And then there are the things that might give you a 5% discount on future sales that they're doing and all of these things and so on. The prices of those things goes from 0.3 ETH for the first 100 cards And the OGs, like the ones that are like super rare and everything, goes like start from 50 ETH each. There's gonna be like a massive things. They've had like a collaboration with Brave, with Bat. So like there is so much. But if you want to try your luck and you're like lucky enough to be one of the top, the first 100 people and getting one for 0.3 ETH, like sweet spot. The final one. And this is for all the people that have been waiting for 3 years. Age of Rust is finally coming live on Friday. If you have no idea what it is, Age of Rust is a digital treasure hunt in space where you have your character, you need to solve puzzles and all of that. There is going to be like millions of dollars worth of treasure of hunts spread across the entire game. A lot of them are going to be like items and ENJ engine tokens and so on. But 2 of those chests, 2 of them, just 2 for the entire game. One of those is going to have inside 4 Bitcoins. And the major one, the big one, is going to carry 20 Bitcoin inside.
Holy smokes.
So they're going to launch officially on Friday. I don't know what you guys are going to do on Friday. I know I'm going to be live at one point, but I'm also going to be playing for the entire day. So,
I really hope you don't win that 20 Bitcoin, Stefano.
I don't think so.
Chances are you will, though. I know you'll be right in there.
For anybody that has like watched Ready Player Ones, for anybody that is like, you know, into that type of things, this is it. Like, come on, guys. Whenever do you have like a game that has like a treasure on with like one lucky, the lucky person is going to get the 20, but you have like a bunch of other stuff that carries like $200, $300, $2,000, like, you know, things like that. If you're good in solving puzzles, guess what? I'm not, but whatever. But dude, like, it's a game. Like, go and test your luck. That's the only thing that I can say.
Yeah, absolutely. So look, join us on Friday Live, people.
We also, Sean, we also have
just
that
quick
access
question, Jordan.
scholarship.
Are we going to be giving away the prize only to a live viewer? I think is that how we're doing this one?
I'm not sure. We have the physical NFT, so it'll be a bit like we can't do it instantly. We'll have to collect an address and mail it to them. So whatever we decide, it doesn't matter to me. We can talk to Garrett, ask him what he thinks too. Sure. You know, if we do a bit of a campaign and get a bunch of Twitter people following, and you know, we're also giving away another Axie scholarship on Friday. Remember? So we've got a tweet circulating. If you want to win a scholarship, you fill out the form. Like and subscribe, Hard Forking YouTube, retweet the tweet, tag your friends, and include your Discord name so we know that you've filled out our form. And then from the people in the form, we'll select one randomly to win a new scholarship, which is a pretty good thing too. So what are we like? You got now, Stefano, much wow. How many teams you got?
4 so far.
Nice. And I'm up to 11 now. So
the Much Wow family is growing. We're gonna go after the Johnny Gonzo gang.
Yeah, Gonzo scholars versus a Much Wow gang. We do that. Let's do a head-to-head tournament.
Friday is going to be super interesting. It's a great chance for you to ask your questions live with us as well. Win some prizes. I personally think there's aspects of this NFT phenomenon that are just getting started. This, as I say, this F1 Delta game is sort of just kind of a bit of a light bulb moment for me because I get it. I want to play it. It's sort of the first time that's happened for me in blockchain gaming. So I'll endeavor to get those people on the channel from Amoka Brands. And we'll have a closer look at that. So, Stefano, just in closing, I know you'll find this interesting, so I don't know you hate the project, but I bought some ADA today because it's listing on Coinbase Pro tomorrow, not because I like the project.
I'm out of here. That's it. I don't have anything to say. Bye.
I'm thinking it might be a short hold, mate, so don't get too worried about my ADA investment. I'm still that big Ethereum fan, just like you are. 32 ETH, baby.
It's not that I'm an Ethereum fan because of like, you know, I woke up a morning and I was like, let me pick that one out of everybody. There is a reason for that. Come on. Like,
yeah, Ethereum, we kind of had this discussion going in our chat the other day. like Ethereum is old and it's a dinosaur and blah, blah, blah. It's the same shit that people have said about Bitcoin. Network effects mean something.
Yeah.
There are too many developers. There's too much infrastructure. There's too much value locked in to the DeFi stuff. You know, the way I'm seeing it now, it's like you got Bitcoin as your base crypto layer. You got Ethereum as your base DeFi layer. And then you're going to have all your Ethereum layer 2s that are all these different applications, games, whatever else, whatever, you know, anything, NFT marketplaces, blah, 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 blah. You know, you're going to transact in your marketplace with the token. It's cheap, it's free, you know, and then you're going to make your profits. You're going to deposit those into a DeFi protocol, get your passive returns.
Yeah.
And then, you know, your gold that's going to give you more capital that you can borrow against will be deposited into Bitcoin. Right.
Yeah,
so you kind of got your tiered level of crypto here happening.
It's a good explanation, Jordan, and I agree. If you guys could just maybe comment on this in closing. I mean, for me, that's, you know, when we say, are we in a bubble here? Are we at the end of a bull run? For me, I'm sort of looking at this going, no, I don't think so. Because if we take gaming, for example, Axie, F1 Delta, you know, the issues at the moment are that level of tech knowledge that you need to have, especially sort of, you know, moving on to these layer 2s to keep your gas fees down to be able to utilize the game properly. I think as those projects get solved, and they will, for me, that means we're not at the end of a bull run or in a bubble. I just think we're getting going there. I mean, those barriers to entry will be pulled back as that sort of base layer, as you put it, on really develops further.
We're totally in a bubble. Are we? Come on, guys. Let's be honest for a second.
I mean, there's still people holding ICO coins from 2017.
Man,
still,
come on! Like,
do
I believe that
fucking pop, and they're waiting for that magical, like, whoa, it's gonna pump eventually, right? But it's a total shit coin. That's what's happening with the NFT art, I think.
Here's the easy thing. Like, number 11 on CoinGecko, Bitcoin Cash. Nothing against, by the way. Just like taking an example. Currently 520 whatever dollars. At one point in the previous run, this thing was at like what, 3,500?
Very, very briefly, because I managed to sell the top. It was worth 60.
Hey, someone bought.
It was a couple
there is
of days.
at least one person. There is at least one person that bought at that level.
Yeah.
My entire point is: do I think that this is the end of the bull run? No.
Me.
Oh, maybe. But that's the point. Do I think that like we're still going up? Yes, most likely. Of the graphs on like on Bitcoin shows that like we're nowhere being done yet. That the time frame, the timeline, like if we're looking at like all the chart, like we're nowhere near the top. Does that mean that we're not in a bubble? They're two different things. We're like in a sector that has like thousands and thousands of projects. Some of those are getting started. Some of those are going to keep growing. Some of those are already 100% in an insane inflating bubble.
Any particular ones that you would consider to be in that category?
Well, let me see the top 10. No, but Mooncats. Well, it's there, but like there are so many that I think like here's the thing. You bought ADA, okay? Cool story. ADA right now is a market cap of 40 billion. Okay, DeFi alone.
I'll be selling it after the Coinbase Pro listing.
There are 40 billions locked in DeFi on Ethereum. Like let's look at the two things for a second. Where do you want to put like your chip? Put it wherever you want, but like, man, look at things for a second in a logical way. How is something that does nothing being worth 40 billions? Because I don't care whatever say, it does nothing as of today. You can transfer
Coinbase
it.
Pro, bro. Coinbase Pro.
Exactly, it's the same thing.
You're not going to try and play that little Coinbase Pro.
I don't play those things.
It's priced in already. It's priced in already.
I think so.
The fuck? What kind of run did it do in the last 3 months?
Yeah,
I
maybe
think it's priced in.
People are gonna get extremely
not financial advice from my 24-hour ADA play people.
No. Here's your financial advice, and I say that so many times. You're gonna lose your money because you don't know what you're gonna do, what you're doing. You're literally just like FOMOing into things, and you're in like and looking at your Twitter or Instagram or LinkedIn or Facebook
he's following
or TikTok.
Lisa's trades. He's lost following Lisa's trades, right?
Like, No, I have respect for Lisa. Don't take
No,
me
so do
wrong.
I.
It's just like I hate people that are following into stuff and then they're like texting you in private and be like, "What do you think about this thing?" Well, I think that you just lost all your money. So good job with that. So you want to know what I think about your trade, Sean?
I think you made
That's
it
what
very
I think.
clear. I think you made that
Sean,
very
what-
clear. Okay.
What
Well,
did the technicals say?
Look,
about this
I'm
trade?
not a fan of ADA. It's I've
Sure,
never,
Sean.
never looked at it, never touched it, but yeah.
Sean,
all right.
did Lisa go over it? What was the technicals on that one? How does it look?
Oh, I don't know.
You didn't even do it.
I saw somebody sent me a tweet listing on Coinbase Pro. Yes, I made 20%.
You bought the tweet. You bought the, you
I bought
are
the
the
tweet.
perfect example. Here, to anybody watching, when me or Jordan say something, you can, if you represent Sean, that's pretty much
I'm up
summarizing
20%,
everything.
Stefano, and I'll probably flip out of it now.
Good for you.
Okay.
20% is a good return.
In a
Let's
few
see
hours,
next
it
week
was.
where you are.
I won't be holding it in a week. I don't believe in the project.
See, early flipping, I'm all for it. That means like you have diamond balls because not because you're holding, but because you have the courage to actually go for something like that. If you have the balls to do something like that, then I'm all for it. Because you're not in love with the project. You
No,
don't
not at
believe
all.
in the growth of the
It's a
project.
trade.
You're just like, yeah, then it makes sense. Then it's a completely different story.
Yeah. Good. Little attack on me personally there. I'll let you off the hook after that last comment. Okay, guys, listen, we've gone over an hour today. We're trying to keep these as short as possible. Any closing comments from you, Stefano, before Mr. Gonzo wraps up the show?
I got
Well,
one.
as being a week, do you have 32 ETH?
I deposited 10 now.
Good. Jordan is doing his homework. Do you have
been a good
32
week.
ETH?
I've been waiting.
Sean?
I've been waiting for yours to arrive today, sir. So can
I have.
Can you please send those
No.
after this video?
Okay.
I have.
You've
value
got the
of
fiat.
32.
Now hand it over. All right, guys.
Hey, hold on. 2 points. I do have the value of 32 ETH, but it's not actually in the physical form of 32 ETH. But I have made a conscious effort in the last 2 weeks to start doing that.
Yeah.
And, it'll be a couple more weeks if the market keeps up the way it's going. And I should have that locked in. And that'll be like, one of the crypto goals, which is I'm pretty stoked on. And as an example to our viewers, despite all the crazy, 100Xs, slow and steady, and locking in that 32 ETH is going to be good for like a retirement fund.
Absolutely.
So
That's why the show's called One Bitcoin and 32 ETH and has been for a year now, people. That is our goal. Yep. So, okay.
And
Well,
then
I'm talking about trading ADA for a day.
I thought you wanted to change that in 32 BNB and 100 ADA, the new name of the show.
Then the one other comment was Ready Player One to enter the matrix. Because, I'm seeing all this digitization and people making money. And it's like, you're getting this matrixy Ready Player One thing happening. People are not leaving their house. They're getting more immersed.
Yeah.
They don't have to leave the house to make money. They don't have to leave the house to communicate. You don't have to leave the house to eat. It's like, holy fuck, it's happening.
Sorry, on a closing on that, shout out to the developer, whoever it is, I don't remember the name, that built the domino kiosk on Decentraland, where a player on Decentraland was actually able to order a pizza from Decentraland to his house in the USA.
I saw that.
Shout out to that person.
Yeah.
You are awesome, whoever you are.
Yeah. And which of you two will be buying the Angel Axie that I see has just come on the market for 999 ETH?
Whoa.
I don't know. I'm busy with important coins and chains like
I did.
ADA and so on. So
I did a collaboration on a drawing of that Axie.
Uh-huh.
oh, that's true. You did actually. You did.
Yeah.
Back in the
Buy
days,
my
that was
NFT.
6 months ago, I think it was.
3 or 4, yeah. Yeah, it's cool. All that stuff's coming around again.
Yeah. No, congratulations, Jordan. You, I think your star is rising. A lot of the stuff you were doing in content creation in the space. Good on you, mate.
Head down,
Okay,
keep
guys.
working.
We'll see you back here Friday. Just in closing, if you do want to help support this channel and you are an experienced trader, link below to Bybit. You can claim up to $200 $5 in bonuses once you've deposited in the rewards section. And on the Monday trading show, I will be talking about a contest that we've got coming up. I would like as many of you to enter that as possible. You
Sean
can also
won't let
go
me
on
enter
that
'cause he's gonna
platform.
lose.
It's got a test net. You don't have to put any money on there to figure out whether you're a trader. I'd strongly advise that. I'm not here to give anyone financial advice, but go on there and play around with the fake BTC and figure out if it's for you before you put any real hard-earned crypto in there if you're not a seasoned trader. All right, guys, thank you so much for your time today. Stefano's made me slightly nervous about having so much REV token now, but I don't know.
No, but you missed the point. You're okay with REV. Don't buy fucking pixelated fucking new NFT projects that came out yesterday. That's basically what he's saying. You're fine.
Yeah.
Hodl, play, stake. You're good.
Just play and have fun.
Just play, baby.
I do like that game. I really do, actually. I get
Then
it.
you got no reason to worry about it. Fundamentally,
I see a good few months of the barriers to entry just being so difficult. Hopefully Medical will improve that slightly in the coming weeks as they roll that out, which is happening right now. Thanks, Jordan. We only had about 30 seconds left, but
And Jordan's like, I'm out of here. That's it. Done.
See you later, guys. I gotta run. I'll be back.
Okay. Listen, now these guys, I would say, are two of the better people in the space for anything we've discussed today. You can hit them up in the Discord or comment in the video below. So throw us your questions, people. Make sure you join us on Friday. Free stuff being given away. And we'll wait for Jordan to come back so he can say goodbye to the
He's gone. That's it. We lost him. No more Jordan. If you like it
No
in
more
the
Jordan.
show, well, that was the last one that you saw him.
Yeah.
We killed
Okay.
the character.
Can you say goodbye so I can finish the show?
See you later, dudes.
All right. See you all Friday. Hope you enjoyed this. Questions, join the Discord. See you all soon. Cheers for watching.
1 BTC and 32 ETH.